All right, a very good morning to you. 6 minutes past the hour, and that tells you that you are in time for your world. My name is Winnie Lubembe. Welcome to the show. Looking forward to a very productive show, but a very productive week as well. So I hope you are in the same wavelength. And today we want to talk about data security, and especially in a tech world, because if you are living in the country, then you know what happened a few weeks ago where, yes, the entire social media was up in arms. And this is as far as hackers and, the various services that a lot of Kenyans were not able to get simply because, as they say, the government systems were hacked. So the big question is, how do we keep our data safe, and especially in this digital era where, as we all know, today's world, we have a lot of digital information stored online. For example, social media posts, bank account details, we have our emails, our photos, our documents, and many other files that are sent through the internet. So this comes with a very big risk, and this serves as fodder for hackers who are constantly looking for new ways to exploit vulnerabilities. So the big question is, like we said, how do we securely handle sensitive content in the ever-evolving tech world? That is what we want to understand today, because again, if you all know, the whole aspect about strong passwords, you need to have characters like capital letters and numbers and lowercase numbers and punctuation marks and everything else that you can use for your password. A lot of people get irritated, like, why do we need to have all these things in our passwords? But well, what you don't know is it could be protecting you in a while. But for now, as you can see on your screen, there is a QR code. And what we need you to do, or what we wish you to do, is just scan the QR code. You can use your phone, your tablet, your iPad. Just scan the QR code, and then it will take you to a Google document, where I would also request you to answer a few questions, and this is as far as our products are concerned. So from our shows to our news products as well, we just want to hear your feedback, all right? So scan, and then we will see your feedback later on, and just tell us what you feel about our products, what we need to improve on, and what you love most about our products, all right? We'll be looking forward to hear what you have to say, but for now, allow me to introduce my guest, and I will begin on my immediate left. We have Edwin Wainaina, aka Kadusko, and I'm just the name, Kadusko. It's so good to have you this morning. Something else. Why Kadusko?
Kadusko, okay. Even me, I don't know. People from Edusko, then from Edusko to Kadusko. I guess I was very cheeky, so yeah.
Yeah. Kadusko. You are a comedian, so I think it comes with the territory, right?
Yeah.
Karibu sana, good to have you, this morning to contribute to this very important conversation. And then we'll also have Robert Manyala, who's the director, Robi Sachin online and software expert. Karibu sana. Good to have you this morning. How are you doing?
I'm great. I'm Robert Manyala from Robi Search Limited, an ICT company that transformed the world through innovation.
Hey, look at that. Transform the world through innovation. Look forward to hear what that is all about. And last but not least, we have Mark Obar, who is an ICT expert. Good to have you this morning. How are you doing?
Thank you so much.
Okay. Can we just start with the first things first, right? There is the whole aspect about data, and then there's personal information, and then there's private, privacy, and then there's a lot of things, and especially when it comes to online and the digital content. What exactly is it? Because majority of us, when you talk about data, we start thinking numbers, bank accounts, personal information, and all those things. But yeah, what exactly?
Actually, you're right.
Yeah.
So, from the very layman perspective, those important details that make one give a presence or an individual identity on their digital platform or within the electronic systems is what we refer as data.
Data. Okay. So we're talking about.
So yeah. So that
name.
can be. It can be your name. It can be all those specific details, including number, all that. And if you may notice, those are the things that make you, even to your bank. Your bank may not know you as an individual, it knows you by your data. And that is why you, in the digital technology world, is your data.
Okay. You are your data.
You are your data in
I like that. Okay. Yeah. You have to really think about all these things and what makes you unique and your data unique
exactly
as well. Okay.
So what makes you unique is because, for example, today you are important because of what you represent to the world. In the technology world, you are because of what you represent in the technology world. So, for example, your data also represent the amount of money that you have in the bank. Your data represent your ability to dispense certain value within the technology world, and even as a government is also represented by the data that it has. For example, if a government wants to borrow money, then the government must provide data that backs that idea in terms of ability to repay the loan and all that. Now, I think one of the media houses, I'm not very sure whether it's this one or not, but one time carried a story that some lenders, potential lenders, had to hack Kenyan government to find out if they were able to pay or repay the loans that they were requesting. And based on that information, they made a conscious decision to lend Kenya money. So those are some of the intricacies that involve in terms of data management and everything. Overall, data provides an actionable intelligence that would help you make certain decisions in a manner that will provide value to you. Sometimes criminally, but quite often in a very good way.
Okay, I'll come back to you in the criminal aspect of the same. But again, we're talking about how important data is because you are the data. We are, the data. So, but can we just talk about then how important it is? Because like I said, majority of the times, people just have whatever it is online without necessarily thinking about the implications of the information that they choose, to put out. And this is as far as the digital space is concerned. So can we just talk about, first of all, understanding how important data is? Because again, like we said, we are the data. Can we just understand how important that is and where the risks then fall?
Thank you so much. For this key in wherever we are, or if any case is a book, information put together is data. So how important is the data? What I can say is that data can be as important as maybe somebody will think. For example, we have various apps in Kenya which you use them for free, but what they are interested in is data. When you have the data, then you can be able to manage a lot of things. For example, if any case maybe I was to be given something, they will need the history of maybe bank account. How has my bank account been? This is data, for example. So it can be used to predict or anything that you need in future. Data can be used to also help you get the service that you need. And data also can be used to make money in one way or the other. So ideally, data is very important to any human being. That's why technology, we have what is called content, and we have data. So it is very important that the right information and the right data, it can help you make a big money. Both
the two, like you said, content and data.
Yes.
Is there a difference between the two, or is one and the same thing in its own?
The most information, for example, I have my brother here, Kadusko. We can say about the content, maybe something good that he has come up with. So that content can help people do 1, 2, 3 things. Most probably, data is all the time is much compared to the content. Content sometimes is much available for many people, though there are some that are can be accessible.
Okay, because again, like I said, there's the whole aspect about data security versus data privacy. So what do those two mean? What is this distinct line between the two? But very quickly, Kadusko, what happened in 22 August?
In 22 Kiliniramba. With more than 700,000 followers. First of all, it was with 40,000 followers, but I was able to retrieve it back. But then when the page grew, it seems that experience here was easy pay in a grow.
That's
so
true.
They came with another trick.
They're becoming smarter by the day.
They become smart. They become smarter. So I was tricked and it was hacked.
Okay.
So until now, I've not been able to retrieve
You've
it
not
back.
been able to retrieve it again.
Yeah. So I thought the method that I used when it was hacked while with 40,000 followers, I will still use the same method. But
Okay, so what happened? What method? And first of all, even before you were hacked,
yeah.
what happened in terms of content, like you said, what you choose to post online, your information, your personal information, how much of it was online, and your passwords as well? Because this is very common to most of us. A lot of people have been hacked.
True.
And especially on social media.
Yeah.
I mean, just this morning I got an email telling me that I need to reset my password, and I had not requested for that.
Yeah.
Right? So it's very easy for someone to just click on that and change their password, not knowing that maybe these are hackers who are trying to get into your account.
Yeah,
so
true.
for you, what was that like? How much of your personal information was online? Your passwords, what did they look like?
Okay. First of all, my personal information was not online, and
Okay.
then my password was very strong.
Okay,
It was
but
a
you were
very
still
strong-
hacked.
Yeah. it was a very strong password, so I was very confident that it cannot be hacked.
Yeah.
But the trick that they used, first of all, you know, while you are as a content creator, when you are growing, okay, they first send you an email telling you that you can partner with them for adverts. So you see,
We all get that.
you are like, you
Well,
get
the same,
excited,
yeah.
with the advert thing.
Yeah.
So the first one I was able to, okay, the first one I accepted, but kukubali, mambo ikienda hivi, the account went, so
Yeah.
I retrieved it back as I had said.
Okay.
But now the second one, they used a different method. So I saw that when the email came, I saw that it was something legit.
Ah, okay. And we'll come back to those very specifics, because it's very true. It's very easy for you to fall, and I'm pretty sure almost all of us,
Yeah.
we've fallen prey
Yeah,
to this.
true.
Because like you said, it looks legit,
Yeah.
everything looks legit.
Yeah.
But, you know, again, like we said, these people are becoming smarter
Yeah.
by the day. So before we come to that aspect, so then how did you know that you were hacked? For someone who has never been hacked, which I'm like, hey, you must be very lucky. Very lucky person that's never have been hacked.
Okay, first of all, how you know that you are hacked?
Yeah.
When you own the account,
Okay.
there's some tools that you're able to use, like you can post. But now when I was hacked, I received an email telling me that you are no longer the admin of your page. Then I was like, I am no longer the admin. How?
What do you mean?
What do you mean I'm not the admin?
Yeah.
So I decided to go to my page. When I clicked it, when you own a click page, you know, okay, you can view the information as the owner of the page.
Yeah.
But now when I click the page, I was viewing it as a person who is visiting it.
Okay.
So I was like, I cannot even post. What I can do, I
Yeah.
can only like.
And comment.
I can only like and comment.
Okay.
So the person who contacted.
But you have no rights, you don't have anything
Yeah, I
else.
don't have rights, I
Yeah.
don't have anything. So that's how you know that you are hacked.
Okay.
You cannot post, you cannot comment.
Yeah.
The things that you used to do as the admin of the page, now you cannot do them.
Okay.
Yeah.
I hear you. Okay. So this is a very common phenomenon, right? Among so many people. And he said, me, my password was very strong. So I was very confident that, you know, none of these people can have access to my account. So what is it that we do wrong on a day-to-day basis that would put us, you know, more at risk to either being hacked? And first of all, when you say that someone has been hacked, can we just first of all understand what all these, you know, terminologies really mean?
Yeah. So, so what we need to understand is that when it comes to hacking, is an intrusion, basically. So, they refer to it as hacking, but technically it's not the real hacking. Yeah.
Okay.
So this is just something known as social engineering, which I'm coming to explain.
Okay.
But now, when it comes to hacking, is an intrusion of systems, but primarily with the ability to access that information, basically the data, the database, and all that stuff that is making the entire interface that you interact with work.
Okay.
Now, what happened to him was very simple. It's known as social engineering. So social engineering is the combination of psychology and technology to come up with an idea that would help someone to respond. This very concept has been used world over, has worked.
Over again. Yeah.
In America, they've worked, even with the senators. You remember the 2016 election, the so-called hacking that which happened there. It was all about social engineering.
Okay.
Somebody to know what to tell you. It's like,
Yeah.
in other words,
It will interest you.
they know
Yeah.
they want to tell you for you to respond.
Okay.
And once you respond, then they know that they can just lead you along the way.
Yeah.
For example, if somebody wants to steal your money through conmanship, they know the things to tell you to lead you along the way until you
Yeah.
fall into the ditch.
Okay.
That is basically what social engineering does.
Okay.
So social engineering provides a link to which, for example, the link they sent you this morning. When you click on that link redirects operations of your account to them so that they are able to view. It means that to the back end of every interface, whether it's website, desktop applications or whichever, to the back of it, there are entry points
Okay.
in layman language. So these entry points, they can be utilized and they're particularly open for very good reasons,
Okay.
for integrations and communication.
Okay.
But then if you are not careful what you are clicking, you get click them and then you transfer the ability to control the account to them.
And then they lock you out completely.
Then they will
And then they have
completely
all-
lock you out.
Yeah. But my just curiosity, how
Yeah.
much of information then can they access? Either email, social media, bank, because now we have,
Everything.
right? We have like a mobile banking apps.
So the
on our
danger
phones.
is,
Yeah.
the danger is you can give access to a single account.
Okay.
For example, if it's a Facebook account. Actually, recently I was involved in an institution, a very big institution in the country which lost their Facebook page.
Yeah.
And I was involved in the recovery of for example, if I'm almost sure that he had the same Facebook embedded on his mobile phone. If they have access to a single activity or a single application, they can use that as single application to conduct search, to conduct recoveries of the documents or everything else, and even get into other applications.
That's true. Majority of the
Yes.
people use the same password for almost all.
No, you don't even need to use the same password. Even
Yeah.
in the event where you're not using the same password,
Yeah.
now they're able to install, because you can install spyware. There is something known as spyware
Yeah.
that actually is able to review and collect data on a specific device or a network or a company or an organization, or infrastructural organization.
Or a country.
Or a
Like
country.
where we were.
So if it's embedded on a single application,
Yeah.
then it will run on subsequent applications within that device, and it will be able to collect that data. And that now exposes the danger. To the worst point of it is that the same application can also be used to contact the other people you are related to technologically. And then they are able, for example, in 2016, a good example, what happened with the psychometric analysis which they were carrying out is that even the friends of the people who were on Facebook were also at risk. They were all in the same boat. So you're my friend in Facebook, I get hacked. What happens to you? You are also in it.
You also get hacked. Okay, so do you want to speak on the whole aspect about data security, data privacy? Because we're very upfront when it comes to, my privacy this, my privacy that, it's security and all those things. Do you want to speak on this too? And then we'll also talk about offline data, where we're talking about our IDs. Someone is, give me your ID, give me your phone number and all those things, not knowing that, people can use this, information or data really to access whatever it is that they can.
Great. They talk about hacking or hackers. Now, basically, these are the people who are trying to get maybe information, the unauthorized information. So there are various ways somebody can hack you. Like the last one that was done is called denial of service. This is where somebody is trying to overflood or send several requests to a given system. For example, I develop system like PS or ERP system that many companies depend on. So how do you ensure that people cannot be able to send several requests that will lead to denial of service? That's one way of doing hacking. So what people most probably do, there's something called an API. This will help anybody who has a website, a bank, or even any software anywhere to prevent something like hacking. That means they hardly come to your system directly. So like for example, the API most of the time help you to be at least have less risk compared to just getting into your system and picking the data.
Okay.
This would send you an image attachment. Then when you click on it, it picks the information automatically based on what you have. The apps will tell you, can you store your information, or can you remember your password? Remember password? Yes, most of the people will say yes, most of the time. So the phishing part of it,
forgot password.
Forgot password,
yes.
remember password.
Yes.
So you use remember password. Sometimes based on the phishing technology, when you do that, there's some app that automatically will be installed, like we call them malware now. That's virus to avoid or to detect things like that. They'll be able to pick some data and can be able to transfer them to specific server somewhere else.
But how safe are these antiviruses? Because again, there was a lot of conversation some time back about, using of this antivirus, and people can still have access to your data. So there's also like a safety risk there that some people advise people don't install this.
So antivirus are very good, but not all of them have the energy or can protect you completely. That's why sometimes when people do research, that the best recommended antivirus use, however, it's called firewall. Firewall is just a technology that will help you prevent anybody trying to get into your network without you knowing. So those are some of the ways somebody can be able to maybe hack your data. So what can we do to ensure this one is prevented? Because ideally we need social media, we need systems.
We cannot to understanding. So then how do risk, and especially for businesses as well, where most businesses are now online, right? And of course there's also that risk of this can be hacked, and data about your businesses, and people use that data for various reasons. We literally have a minute to go on a break, but you said when we're talking about use of a same password for multiple platforms, you are like very, very true. What happened? Did you use the same password for almost all your socials?
Okay, I was same passwords. So when the Facebook account was hacked, I was like,
they get access to all this, everything. Scared of losing, or they got access to impact you. Before we come to the second part, you said you were tricked into the same.
Okay, actually I was not having that information on my accounts, because it was just my Facebook page. It was only affected. It was only the Facebook page that was affected. So they were not able to hack the YouTube and the Instagram and the other pages. So it was just the Facebook pages. And I don't think the information that there was that
relevant that would help them stand. But I think for majority of the people is the followers, because then, I mean, if you're not able to retrieve, because I remember, I mean, it's very common for people's social media pages to be hacked, and then whatever was posted, sent to all your friends and family, and wondering.
The person who hacked it is a person from India.
Okay.
Now the things that he's posting.
How did you know he was from India? Or she was from India?
He's from India. I tried to retrieve the page. I had someone and he told me the page was hacked from someone from India, but he was unable to recover the page. So I guess the person is very smart.
Okay.
So what the guy does, he normally posts things from India. Now the people are following are like, "Ay, Kwani so they're wondering what happened. Because I was just posting my content, Kiswahili content, but now the India thing, now it confuses them. You see? So now in the page that I'm having, the people normally come on my page, they asking me what happened to the other page. India,
what happened? Okay. Want you to understand more on the same, and Mark and Robert as well to understand again based on what he's saying. And this is something that almost all of us would say, yeah, ilihakiwa from this part or ilihakiwa from this other side, or maybe someone is just sitting
in Nairobi,
hacking it to your account. But hey, if you have any question as far as the conversation today that is on data security in a tech world, feel free to interact with us on our socials at NTV Kenya, both on Facebook and on Twitter, or you want to give us a call, our lines are officially open to use them. But all that is coming up after the break. Stay with us.
The world unites as the FIFA Women's World Cup comes alive on your screens. Feel the adrenaline, embrace the passion, and support your favorite teams in their quest for glory. From the thrill of the group stages to the intensity of the knockout rounds, every moment counts. Join us on NTV as we bring you every exhilarating match, every kick, every save, and every single victory.
And it's a spectacular goal!
The FIFA Women's World Cup, exclusively on NTV, your front row seat to greatness.
I see you trying to be an OG like me, chasing dreams, pulling more schemes for wealth. But the best thing is
seems nice and bright and everything feels alright. I went to school without a fool, trying to pick a fight. I was loped out, crisscross shirts. Now I feel you know you got to have them. You know you got
For the best of the 2000s, tune in every Saturday from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. and Sunday from 8 p.m. to 12 midnight.
So live your life.
Rhythm and flow.
Taking you back in the day.
Nation FM.
Spot on! Spot on! Checkmate, spot on. Spot on.
Catch Spot On every Monday night from 10 p.m. on NTV and every Saturday afternoon from 3 p.m. on Nation FM. Nation Media Group, the home of sport.
Spot On in association with DSTV.
Dial *423# or download my DSTV app to get a DSTV HD decoder with 1 month of family. Just 2,999 Kenya shillings. It's the Premier League on DSTV.
Imagine 10 people you know and love. Imagine if any of them needed blood immediately. This is a reality. Every 10 minutes, 10 people in Kenya need blood. Be it a mother in a maternity ward, an accident case, a surgery, or even a lifelong medical condition. These people need your help. Why don't you be their hero? Your timely voluntary blood donations will ensure our blood banks never dry up. Save a life today. Donate blood regularly at a county blood donation satellite near you. Changia damu, okoa maisha. Be the lifeline.
Candace, what's that?
I brought you a small bonus.
Bonus for what?
You got us 299 family dinners, 64 kisses on the cheek, 12 road trips to see grandma, 42 jokes from daddy, 49 laughs from mommy.
In over 60 years of dealing with numbers, we've learned that the numbers that matter the most to you are the ones that matter the most to us. NCBA Bank. Go for it.
Okay, a lot of things to go through, but we'll go through them during the show. Okay, so welcome back. Data security in a tech world is the subject of our conversation today. And let me tell you, it's like we're in a sound like an ICT class this morning, which I think it's important, really, for all of us to have at least at the bare minimum, basic knowledge as far as how these things operate, how, what are some of those risks, what are some of those things that we do on a day-to-day basis that might put us at risk of being hacked, all right? And what are some of the things that we can do to prevent? I know Robert wanted to talk about this, but we'll talk about that. That is on prevention and just keeping our data safe. But for now, that whole aspect about, like we said, privacy versus security, right? And even offline. Let's just speak about offline for a sec, because I know majority of us have received that call. Mimi ni so and so from I don't know where, or that SMS. Tuma mwalimu amesema nini kwa ina.
Meant to really, but they're using the same concept in form of data or anything else. Okay. So that's very basic.
I think
point
the biggest question for most people is then how do they get these? What are some of these things that then we should be on the lookout for? Because again, like Kadusko said, it seems very genuine, and it's very people to either click, on the link, or those that are telling you, oh, we're interested in business, we have seen your followers and all those things. Pray. So what are the red flags? What is it that we need to really be on the lookout for? It doesn't matter whether it's an email, social media, bank, account, and everything else. What is it that we need to be on the lookout for?
Great. Thank you. I'll go first to the one for offline data, the one you talked about.
Yes.
So Robisearch did a research let me say last year, during COVID, and we realized why will people get various SMSs, various information, like in a school you're being told you need to pay school fee, you not pay. Then we realized people write their ID number in various books, and that one happens a lot in Kenya. You go to a building, you go to school on the same. So really somebody can easily come and see the phone number that you have put, and they can even take the screenshot, and later you get the phone number. And that's why we innovated what is called a book, so that at least you have a single place where all the data for the institution are being anybody walking in to take a screenshot of the data or for the people who have already got into that building or into that school, and that's really helped. That's one way what we have done to ensure we reduce this, and we encourage even government to see how we can go digital in this way, so that we have what is called digital visitor book. Instead of writing things manually, then they can be able to do that.
And leave your ID and then give us your phone number, and already your name is
already there.
Somebody
else can come and see from the book the people who came previously. But how can we ensure that also we are great and ensure that we avoid this? One, anytime you receive an email, for example, an email or an SMS telling you have won something from Safaricom, check the number. Safaricom do not send with any other number apart from the number that they have. Then there's something called sender ID. Any information from a big company or maybe a reliable company will come out with the name, not the phone number. For example, in Robisearch, it will come out with the name Robisearch Limited. The same to Safaricom or any other bank. So can we check where has this SMS come from? If it is an email, can you check the email? Also, where possible, there's something called .com. Any email maybe end with .com, .go. We have very many domains that somebody can use. Check the website, do some research, and get to know, is it authentic before you click on it. That is one way that people do. Then we also request people to do backups. You heard government saying that we have several servers. There's something called mirroring of server. This is like we have server here. When this one is down, this one automatically is up. So when you have like 2 or 3 servers with the data replicated in one server or the other, it is the best way possible. So anybody who's running a service online, we recommend that they have what is called a backup. You can be able to back your data every 1 hour or every day or every maybe 6 hours in case something happens. And I recommend in future, Kadusko, I can recommend to many companies like Facebook that they can be able to give us capability to back up our data. So Kaduko could have gone there to just get the data which was backed up many years ago, or if they could be able to allow the same. However, I'm so happy because even in Kenya, we have very many creative companies that are doing softwares like Robis plus many other. The backup is very, very important.
But I think we also need to be very careful on these companies and agencies as well, because a lot of people have also, fallen prey from these companies. I know you're very keen on talking about the prevention and keeping ourselves safe, and we'll come back to that, I promise. But I just want people to really understand, like by the time we're told, use different characters for your password. How does this protect our data? I'm really keen on the red flags, because a lot of us fall prey because we don't know. I mean, an email looks very legit, right? It's very easy for me to click on the same reset my password, like I said, and everything goes back to normal. But really, these people already have access to information or data. So what is it that for example, talked about different domains, but what is it that we also need to be on the lookout for? I was reading somewhere that was saying, check even the time. And especially if someone is emailing you beyond working hours, if it's supposed to be a professional email, that should be a red flag. So what are some of these other red flags that we really need to be very, very keen? Before I come back to Kadusko on how you are not able to retrieve your,
So the red flags are many. Some of them have been mentioned in terms of the domain.
The domains,
some of them are cloned domains and they're not legitimate domains. So it means that you really need to know the genuine one. You cannot be sure of what you're handling until you know. Once lie runs away, a lie runs away once you know the truth. So it means that you must be sure of what you are having. Take your time and research on whether it's a domain, whether the timing in which the email was sent, whether it's the type of email that you are receiving. Some of those emails have grammatical errors. They don't sound genuine. You've not, if it's the first time you are interacting with that kind of email, somebody telling you it's or a bank giving you have to be very specific to that. So ideally you need to know the truth and facts to help you know what is not true and just ignore it. And the moment you know that is not true, regardless of the persistence, just ignore it. Do anything. Most of the time,
or even respond to them, because a lot of people
do not respond. Do not even respond.
Like, stay away.
Yes. For example, by just responding, they get to have a leeway.
Give them access. True.
So do not just respond completely, because sometimes when some of us respond and our ID, our sign of ID is automated from the email. So they get to know your position, they get to know your exact names, and they get to know everything else about you, even the company that you work for. And that can easily be exploited for the very purpose, either way. Because like Kadusko said, they came back later. But a very important thing that I want to speak about, especially on this matter, especially on the today, there is a concept that is developing across the world known as surveillance capitalism. Now, surveillance capitalism is where people, organizations, or even nations use surveillance, technological surveillance, on other entities. Get money, they get to have information that would give them capital advantage in terms of financial abilities and all that. Now, this is something that has been going on so many times,
for a very long time,
either on technological applications or devices that we import into the country. And of course, the government has put up the data commission and all that, that should be ensuring that some of these things are checked and really regulated. The challenge is that no infrastructural establishments that would help us to really counter this. For example, there are many myriads of cases where somebody buys a phone and then within 1 year this phone is inactive.
It's not working,
what they do not know after some time, they will realize that a certain application will just come on the interface of the phone and then tell you that to click OK. And it will not move regardless of what you do until you click OK.
Yes.
Once you click OK, you've given that phone infrastructure, whether it's your mobile transactions, whether it's your financial transaction or everything else. The ability for this operating system, the secondary operating system that is seconding either Android or iOS, to be able to just ensure that it runs in the background collecting data, and that is why some phones you try to switch it on in the morning and then it takes a long time. You wonder, why is it taking this long?
Yeah.
What is wrong with my phone? And then you will go and buy another one. So it's important for even the government to put
in place measures,
facilities in place to ensure that the devices that we are having in the country are not conducting surveillance on us for financial gains for other people out of the country.
And just thinking top of mind, is this why a lot of people would say, you know, I was just talking about shoes. And then when I open my phone, I see the exact shoe that, you know, I was talking about. Or I was thinking about a certain vacation spot, and then you open your phone, you see all those things.
Exactly. Even right here, if we begin talking about the shoes, by buying shoes, and our phones are on, probably online, online, the next advert you will receive is for shoes.
Those things.
That is surveillance capitalism and how it's used to really gain. It's illegal, but it's useful, especially within the frameworks of government agencies like those NIS or whatever, which would want to collect information and help them understand what is going on in the country. It's useful, but it can also be misused by a number of people through those means.
I see that. I see that. Or sometimes you just see the microphone thingy. You just see the green or whatever color you see, and you're like, but I am not this.
When this, for example, something is ransomware, and then there is the ransom activities. So digital ransom activities is where probably you are working on your laptop overnight, and then you decide, let me leave my laptop there. Then somebody comes, because you are working in your bedroom and you have your chair there, and somebody just records
everything else
as you sleep in your bedroom, and then the next thing they're telling you is that they send it to you and tell you that we have this about you. Should we publish it, or you will bring the money?
Yes. Okay. So then the big question is then, how do we prevent all those things? We'll come back to the two of you for the same. But very quickly, Kadusko, what happened the second time? You said you were tricked because these people again becoming smarter by the day, and at risk, and especially now. So what happened the second time? What different trick did they use as compared to the first one?
It was not that different. They just twisted something. They just did some twisting because they sent me an email, and this email, the person was requesting for us to have. Not a live. Is it a live or a Zoom? A Zoom meeting,
virtual meeting.
Not a live meeting.
Okay.
A Zoom meeting. So during the Zoom meeting, I don't know how he took me through a certain process on my Facebook page. So while I went through the process, I was removing myself as the admin. I was not knowing. I was unaware.
Okay. So the meeting happened. Okay.
It
so
was
the
a
virtual
Zoom
meeting. They sent you the link. You open the link.
So me seeing it's a virtual meeting, I'm seeing there I'm Zungu. I'm saying, pesa. So he took me through that a certain process. He told me copy paste that link, paste because I don't want to lose anything. Copy paste link there, blah blah blah. The following day, the page was not there.
Okay.
So they have a lot of ways of tricking you. Now that the was So the first one clicking the link, but the second one I was my Facebook page was hacked while during the Zoom meeting. They just took me through that like a small process and everything was
So I guess the same thing, you are not able to
just some tutorials. But now the second one, I was look for a person who helped me. I went on YouTube. Okay, still on YouTube there are still some conmen.
I mean,
conmen. Okay. Keep the page. But not this person.
Okay.
No.
Yeah.
So because when you see a lot of people are commenting, go for that person, go for that person.
It's very easy for you
now
to.
This one
is
a legit person. Yeah. Because now, me when I went, okay, I inboxed him on Instagram.
Yeah.
He told me, okay, if you want me to retrieve your page, send me this amount of money.
Okay.
So I told him, first you have to retrieve the page, then I send you the money.
Yeah.
He told me, no, you are the one who is in need.
I mean, really? I mean, but you retrieve your page and you disappear.
Yeah, I disappear. So, okay, I said, okay, I'm the person who's in need. Let me send that
the money.
Amount. So I sent the money. I waited and until now I'm still waiting. I'm still waiting.
Okay.
So yeah, we should be very keen.
Yeah, no, seriously, we really need to, and especially in this day and age where people make money online, you know, through content creation and all those things. So it's very, very important. Okay, so then keep ourselves safe, and then Mark, I think you'd also want to contribute to this, I mean, especially on a larger scale, when we talk about businesses, you know, government agencies and all those things. How do we make sure that this does not happen, and you know, we lose very important data?
Thank you so much. What I will recommend is that despite all these challenges, it is still good for people to use social media.
I mean,
it's still good for people to use systems.
We can't avoid
Only
it,
what we can do is to ensure that we take charge and we ensure things are done well in the right way.
Okay.
And also we'll encourage people also not to fear going digital, because even apart from one or two people also being hacked, there are several people who have run their business for many years, and that's why we thank to KCB, who sometimes train people a lot on digital marketing and how to you are safe. Now, what people do, one, you need to ensure that change your password as often as possible.
Okay.
Stop using like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 8. Because those are the things that people will be able to birthdays a lot.
Well.
So we recommend that use unique names. You use maybe how do you call things that people are not aware of about you as much as possible. But as you do this, also it is important that try to always log out at least once in a while. You realize one person has logged in so many devices, this computer, that phone,
and then you leave
it open.
Yes.
So it is advisable at least once in a while you can be able to log out from email. Something else that we recommend people to do is that we have that will tell you for example, you have to test the to somebody. Remember, we don't have so many IT software developers in Kenya, but we have so many companies developing the system. So they give you advice. You have a team to test. For government, we also recommend that testing is very important. 5 people just testing to hack by themselves. They see, can we able to
how quickly
can we do, what are the possible challenges, then we can be able to talk about prevention measures, so we can be able to know what can we do to prevent things like this if any case they happen
in future.
Yes,
I see that. All right, thank you so much, Robert. Because this is the thing that we also do. We share passwords. You know, like tell your friend, Asima, this is my password. Because you trust them, or you share with your family, and you think, I mean, it's safe for these people, right? How much of a risk is that? And then speak this on a larger scale in terms of prevention as well.
Now, it's very wrong to share your password, and it's because you are putting so many people at risk. Based on the explanation that I've given, that even when you share your password, you do not know how safe the other device is. Okay? Now, on the immediate scale, if you take me to your laptop or computer that you use in this office, then I would probably just go to the history or of that machine forensically, whether it's by browsing or the technical side of it in terms of the various memories that are available within the machine. And it's possible to retrieve all the transactions, literally all the transactions that have been done on that machine ever since. What does that tell you? It tells you that there is a vulnerability. But then, at a business point of view, what do you need to do? You need to put up policies that regulate how people use these technologies to ensure that you are protected. Because if one person is vulnerable within this network, then it puts the entire organization into a trouble. So some of the policies that you need to deal with is be a regular thing, let it be a very specific thing. Some organizations even define some of the characters that must be there in that password that you are using. Now, that will really mitigate to a very basic point of it, because a number of the people who also hack are not people who are really having very intrinsic kind of understanding of what they do, but they just take advantage of their curiosity and ability to understand some of these things along the way. Now, at a government point of view,
very quickly, because we're out of time.
Yes, at a government point of view, it's important for the government to ensure that they review the entire, and I think they're really trying to do a good work, and especially looking at what they just did in terms of the prevention of the attack, the DDoS attack that took place the other time. I think they did a commendable job, that I must say, but they need to review all those plans and put up new infrastructural policies that will guide even our government and individual businesses operate. Some of these things will go to